During every parlay, our guest will play some Lego with us. Together, all ecosystem players will have co-created this Lego pirate ship. Welcome back everybody. Today we have the pleasure of having Anna here from Startit KBC. Welcome Anna. To start off, if you can tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Of course. So I'm the Managing Director of Startit KBC. And I've been based here in Belgium for about a year and a half, previously having worked in the London startup scene for 7 years.
So Anna, tell me, Startit KBC, the largest accelerator here in Belgium. At what stage of a company's growth trajectory is it most interesting for them to reach out to you?
So we say that we support all sectors, all stages. But of course, yes, if you're looking at and saying, well, you service all parts of the market, actually there's probably places in the market we're best at supporting. I think the stage when you move from an idea into building is one of the most crucial stages. Hopefully at this point you've gone away and done some research and talked to customers, but often at this point you start to forget the things you've learned from those customers and you start working from instinct and following the ideas of the developers or the ideas of the marketeers. And I think that's a really crucial point to come to a program like Startit, because what we're going to do is sit with you every single month, ask you what your goals are, and you've got someone who is holding you accountable to, well, last month you were working on this month we can see you're working on this instead, and just challenging the roadmap that you're following. And sometimes that can really stop you from building something that's in your own head rather than building something for a customer.
One of the cool things about your program is the focus that you have on the problem that the company is trying to solve, right? And that really helps the company crystallize their unique offering.
Yeah. Right at the very beginning of the program, you'll find that we run a boot camp, and this is very focused on the question of what exercises will help you keeping on focusing on the problem at your customer. Some of these are tools that you'll know very well. For the early stage businesses, we do the business model canvas, which is totally designed to fit or to get you focused on what is your problem, what does the customer need, and how are you going to deliver that. For the later stage companies, we do the Pimento map, more focused on what are the risks in the model that you've proposed and how can your product be adapted to be less risky. And for the next stage, we focus instead on how is it that you're selling this product, and is the tone right, the language right, the approach right.
So it's actually not one size fits all. It's different according to the different stage of the company.
One of the things that so Startit is often thought about still as being for startup companies. Partly because that's where we came from when we first started. We were one of the first accelerators in the market, and Belgium was at a newer stage in its startup ecosystem. So there were more idea stage, less developed startups in our cohort, because that was what was in the market when we were first coming out. And now, as the market's really developing well in Belgium, we're also growing up and making sure that we split the offering depending on the stage that you're at.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's no longer just a Belgian ecosystem that you're catering to. You've got European-wide ambitions already.
So we paired up with the Global Accelerator Network last year, so that we can now say that when you come into Startit, you can get connected to a global network via the other accelerators in that membership. And we've launched an office in Hungary. And there are a few more that are in the pipeline that I'll be talking about very soon.
So always hungry for more business, right?
Very good.
Anna, tell me, so you've worked with so many startups, scale-ups, innovative companies. There must have been times when you just felt, bad that you've given great advice, or Startit has given great advice, but the company hasn't listened to it, and because of that, you can see straight away that they're not able to grow as fast as they should be.
Yeah.
Can you give us some learnings of these failures of others?
Yeah, I think coming from the perspective of a city that I used to live in London, which is a commuter base of over 10 million people, to a country where it is around 10, 11 million population, you can really see the difference in launching a B2C startup in these markets that are much smaller, when the type of your particular audience is in a much smaller number and much more distributed across a landmass, and also 2 languages that we have here in Belgium. is. Not just that the problem fits the customer, but there's enough of the customers to make the maths of the business model you have work.
So is that not wanting to jump out of the nest as well as the balance between sustainability and scalability?
Yeah, this dream of it's okay, I don't need sustainability, I don't need to get to profit, I will raise investment, is a bit of a false friend.
Mirage.
Yes.
Anna, you could have been working in so many different parts of the economy, right? What was it that attracted you about this innovative sector, startups, scale-ups, and what makes you enjoy it?
If I start on what makes me enjoy it, every day I get to sit down with founders and see all the different perspectives of their life try to come together in a business. And so why did I get into this? Coincidence of timing of a few things. And I caught the wave at a perfect time. And I think isn't that so much the way with so many of us? We didn't set out on this path, you just happen on a coincidence, and it was a good coincidence.
Okay, so you just happened to be at the right place at the right time and enjoyed it so much that you continued.
Yeah, with a bit of an inspiration for some press that was going on as well.
Okay. From London, what brought you to Belgium?
A question I often get asked, and it's two parts. One is personal, one is very much work. Personal, my partner is French, so when Brexit happened, well, the two of us looked at that and said, we've said for many years, one day we will move. Let's make one day now rather than wait to see what comes through on Ms. May's agreement.
So Brexit has actually benefited the Belgian startup economy.
If I get to be called
we have you now.
Thank you. I, however, feel that London is very much, given what's going on, it's over-invested in.
Okay.
And I think there was a chance that it was over-invested in even before Brexit was announced. There's been investor money pumped at London for about 10 years now, and the amount of exits that have come out of that is not as much as the investors thought it would be, given the amount of money gone in. So what happens when that goes on? After a while, investors start choosing to place their money elsewhere. And we are seeing that. I mean, you're seeing more of a distribution of investment across France, in Germany. Lisbon obviously is the one that everyone's talking about now. Some of that's new money arriving, but some of it is people choosing to spread further across Europe. And people will have tried investing in the startup world for the first time. Classically, VCs, venture capital funds, are funded by things like universities choosing to lock up money that is student fees for a number of years and seeing if they can get a better return. If it's the first time that a British university has ever tried that and got not as great a return as they hoped, they will look for other funding products, not venture capital, to put their money into on the next round. Now, if that's going on, then those of us in the accelerator world are going to have a really tough time, because the startups we're trying to help, we can't actually get them as boosted as we want to because the money isn't there to pick them up. And what I loved about the Belgian scene, rather than jumping to a different big ecosystem that's heading towards exactly the same problem, was that in Belgium it's still on its way up, and it's actually got the opportunity to watch these bigger markets around and learn from that and have a different path. And that was far more interesting to me, to be part of informing the ecosystem that this is something to watch out for, rather than moving to Paris or Berlin and 2 years later being caught by the same effect as what London's hitting.
Okay, fine, okay. Oh, very interesting. Thank you very much, Anna. On to some Lego now.
Boat building time.
Yeah, pirate ship building, right? We're all in a pirate ship. LeafRA is a business accelerator that invests in innovative companies so that they can sell more and sell faster. Our program at LeafRA is quite straightforward. We provide funding, added with the best partners, so that you can multiply your sales. And there's no hassle of moving to our locations. If you're curious as to how we can work together, do reach out to us.